Hi there, welcome to the Food Stomp and Free Scottish Music Podcast. My name's Simon Tumier. I've got a load of great music for you this week, and we're going to start off with a brand new record from the Elephant Sessions. Their album's called All We Have Is Now, and this track is I Used to Be a Nice Boy. That was I Used to Be a Nice Boy from All We Have Is Now by the Elephant Sessions. And the Elephant Sessions are on tour all year, so try and catch them. They're a fantastic live band. Our next track is from Josie Duncan and Pablo Lafuente. This duo won the Radio 2 Young Folk Award back in February. They've been doing fantastic work. And their EP is called Half of What You See. And I actually saw this video on Facebook the other day there, and it's really lovely. It's called Hang Me, Oh Hang Me.
Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. I wouldn't mind the hanging, but the laying in the grave so long, poor boy, I've been all around this world. I've been all around Cape Girardeau, parts of Arkansas. All around Cape Girardeau, parts of Arkansas. I got so goddamn hungry, I could hide behind a straw. Poor boy, I've been all around this world. I went up on a mountain, there I made my stand. I went up on a mountain, there I made my stand. A rifle on my shoulder and a dagger in my hand. Poor boy, I've been all around this world. So hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. I wouldn't mind the hanging, but the laying in the grave so long. Poor boy, I've been all around this world. Put the rope around my neck, hung me up so high. Put the rope around my neck and hung me up so high. The last word I heard him saying, won't be long now before you die. Poor boy, I've been all around this world. So hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. I wouldn't mind the hanging, but the laying in the grave so long. Poor boy, I've been all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, I'll be dead and gone. I wouldn't mind the hanging, but the laying in the grave so long. Poor boy, I've been all around this world.
That was award-winning Josie Duncan and Pablo Lafuente, and again they're out all summer, so keep an eye out for them. Now this is a brand new release by Saltfish 40. They've released a load of albums. They're a great duo from Orkney. Their album's called Bear, and this track is called Whiskey. And while I love this album, what I really love about this track is the second tune in it, which is called Mince in a Basket, and it was written by Claire McLaughlin. It's a fabulous tune, and she also happens to be my wife.
I guess it would help if I would turn on the damn microphone, wouldn't it? Well, well, nothing better than good old-fashioned Scottish stomping music. Absolutely. Well, we have lined up for you all, I hope, a hell of a 2018 season. I really hope everyone had a safe and happy holiday season. Of course, I was busier than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, as many as of you know. I want to thank Clint and Cindy for coming to the rescue for Live with the Shaman. I did get a chance to see some of Clint's broadcast, and he's getting there. He's getting it wired up, getting on the road. All right, now, here's a favor. For security reasons, you can't see my server rack. You can see some of the chaos behind me. My office is going to very slowly come together over time. My voice is still a little scratchy. The entire house has been sick since about December 30th. We're all starting to get over the crud and the crap and the mud and the muck and the hooey. My voice still does crack on occasion, but it does sound a little better than it did in church this morning. Again, welcome to the 2018 season of Live with the Shaman. I did have originally a schedule laid out for what I was going to start with, but council decided that those were going to be moved back a week, and we're going to start out with an explanation, if you will, of shamanism. Yes, I've only got an hour, and it usually takes days to explain shamanism. Those of you that are watching our broadcast for the first time, either live, welcome, or the pre-recorded broadcast later, welcome. I am Celtic Shaman. My grove and I have spent the last 18, 20 years progressively forming, building, orchestrating, and teaching the Celtic Shaman philosophy. If you would like to read the open tradition, you're welcome to go over to the OpenGCS. That's OpenGCS here on Facebook. And Cindy or Clint, either one, or Sabrina, whoever, if you'll post the link to the OpenGCS in the chat area, I definitely would appreciate it. All of our broadcasts are brought to you by yours truly, or brought to you by the person who's communicated with me and the other admins to be able to do their own live broadcast on Live with the Shaman. I do allow that. That's perfectly fine. I like to chat first to make sure you're not going to get out there and preach some kind of hoo-ha crap that ain't just going to work. Some of you are like, some of you that have met me for the first time, they're like, you're nothing like you are in open pagan church. On Live with a Shaman, you're just almost an asshole. Well, on Live with a Shaman, I don't have to be politically correct. On Live with a Shaman, it goes into my tradition that was first written and developed in 1999/2000. So, I'm always open for ideas, thoughts, and philosophies and other people's possible reality. That's perfectly fine. But there are a couple of trigger points on this broadcast and in my groups that will get you warned once, and on the second time, you're kicked. On the third time, you're banned. Drama. Nope. Stir shit. Nope. Tell me I'm wrong without the proof to back it up. I'm okay being told, Don, I think you're wrong because. Okay, fine. Just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Now, this is Shamanism Explained. I am explaining to you the initial base idealistic philosophies of shamanism. Shamans, for the most part, are nice people. We're open-minded. We listen to what you have to say. You attack a shaman. We have absolutely no problem at all coming back at you, whatever means necessary. Shamans, as much healers as we are, and as much of an oath as we've taken to sanctify life on this planet, we've also taken a warrior oath to protect and defend our own. So therefore we do. That being said, I would like for you all to at some point venture over to the events page here on Live with the Shaman and see what we've got coming up through the rest of January and the first part of February. But for now, I've pulled up some interesting pages on shamanic philosophy, where shamanism comes from. Now you have to understand, the word shaman is not even an American word. The word shaman really wasn't actually even used in America until the 1920s, early to mid 1930s, hence from the word Siberian shaman. Also, and you'll know that I tend not to try to teach anything without backup, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to Google the word and take a look at some of the different ideologies and philosophies out there and the new pages that are available. Check it out. So I Googled I guess I better bring that up so you can see it, huh? There we go. All right. I Googled the word shaman. I Googled the word shaman, and I thought it was very interesting that the very first hit was some of the different languages and some of the different countries in shamanism and where they come from. You'll notice here in Germany, Russia, Tongas, hell, I can't even pronounce that. But here's the interesting part. From the 1800s, shamanism was essentially not even ever heard of in the Americas, right? And by the early 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, when a gentleman actually brought back the study of, the Siberian shamanism. Well, of course, in the 1950s, pagan philosophy and the word shaman were not put together, right? Okay? Shamanism was considered more or less a separate religion from all other religions out there. To a degree, it still is. And I'll explain a little bit further about that here in a little bit. And then in the 2000s and in the 2010, of course, there's not anything after 2010, as you can tell. There was a boom in the study and the philosophy and the attempting to understand shamanism, where it's from, and what it is. So with that being said, when people come to me and they say, what is shamanism? I quickly explain to them shamanism is a lifestyle. Okay? Shamanism, yes, at the core is a part of the pagan philosophy because shamanism is a polytheistic philosophy, and polytheistic philosophies do fall under the shamanic ideology. Well, if you slide over to Wikipedia, and I promise you, before somebody hands me my ass on a platter, I don't take Wikipedia as gospel, right? Wikipedia, everybody puts in there their own research, where they got it from, where it came from, what it is, blah, blah, blah. But you'll notice right over here on the right-hand side, it talks about Siberia, the Siberian shaman, and that is their meditative shamanic trust. Or, actually, it is of today. Prior to it becoming relatively popular, the Siberian shamans usually wore a loincloth covering their frontal privates. And that was it. That was it. So if anybody's posting any questions or having any conversations in the background, please let me know, because I can't see what you're saying. The last thing I see posted was from Cindy. And just before that, a post from Sabrina saying, hey, my shaman, miss you. Miss you too. Overslept for church this morning. Shame on you. 100 lashes with a wet noodle. Anyway, right. Onward and upward before I get off into the wet noodles. But I am going to post these links in the chat, because I like for you guys to be able to see where I get my information from. I assure you, none of these are actually my personal practice of study, okay? But they do give you a little bit of an open view, or an open idealistic research of what shaman is and where it comes from. So if you have any questions about those, or you want to discuss those, let me know. So what is yours truly version, if you will, of shamanism? Well, let's first understand a few things. Number one, shamanism is a lifestyle. It's not just a religion, okay? Some people can look at shamanism and say it is a monotheistic philosophy. I know. How the hell can shamanism be a monotheistic philosophy? Because every breed or idealistic, philosophical shaman that I have met through the years, their belief span or their belief philosophy comes from Great Spirit, right? And some could say, well, Great Spirit is the same as God. But it is not. Great Spirit to shamanism is a balance of the triad. right? Great Spirit, God and Goddess, or Great Spirit, Goddess and God, depending on which aspect of the Great Spirit we're needing at the time. Are we needing the nurture of the mother? Are we needing the understanding and the nurturing and the abilities of the calm of mother? That would be calling on the goddess aspect of the Great Spirit. Are we needing the more masculine warrior, hunter, the masculine stand up and defend the family and hunt, whatever? That would be to the more masculine of the God, right? Of Great Spirit. Now, here's where it gets confusing to those who are not shaman, those who may not get it, and that's fine. But when we speak of God and Goddess, when we speak of Great Spirit, we're not speaking of man or woman. Great Spirit is an androgynous being. Looks like my streaming's going a little wacky. Here we go. We're back up in the green. Okay, I'll say that again. Great Spirit is an androgynous being, neither male nor female, but the encompassing of both, thereby making Great Spirit masculine and feminine, seeking the balance. Right? Are we wonderfully confused yet? I get those students, and I'll call them students because they come to me and they say, teach me. Teach you what? Teach me how to be shaman. No. I will teach you what it is to live as a shaman. I will teach you your shamanic path unlike anything you've ever experienced in a teacher before. I have a certain set of books that I require every first year to read that have absolutely jack squat shit to do with shamanism. Or do they? To understand and walk in the path of a shaman, and yes, my voice cracked, I apologize. To understand and walk in the path of a shaman, you first have to understand your boundaries, your weaknesses, and your strengths within yourself. Well, no. They say, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to learn how to heal like a shaman. Okay, that we get there, maybe a year down the road. You first have to understand how to balance yourself. You balance yourself in the masculine and the feminine. You balance yourself in the acceptance, letting things go. Almost every shaman I've ever met has an anger management problem of one kind or another. I'll say that again. Almost every shaman I have ever met has an anger management problem of one kind or another. So that is typically the first thing we work on. That is typically the first segment of the introduction and the understanding of the shamanic path as taught to you, right, by the Grove of the Celtic Shaman. Which is why each priest or above, now listen to me closely, Each priest or above are the only ones that are allowed to actually dedicate to the grove of the Celtic shaman. Because myself, Cindy, Clint, Sabrina, and other people who have grown up and come through their growth of the grove of the Celtic shaman, they each teach their students their own way. Now, Cindy is second master of the grove. Clint is third master of the grove. Sabrina is a high priestess in the grove. And there are a few others that we do recognize as the grove. Seems like Facebook is having some streaming issues. I keep going green to red, green to red. So if you want to understand the tradition that the grove of the Celtic shaman lives, feel free to go over to the GCS. The link is right there, up kind of towards the top. Join the group, right? Read the tradition. See if it's for you. If it's not, okay. You're welcome to stay in the open GCS, ask questions, learn, put your respectful thoughts and questions in there. We'll help any way we can. And of course, everyone is welcome to view live with the shaman and kick in an idea or a thought. But shamanism understood. It's the base, like I said a while ago, it is the base philosophy of a healer that wants to understand the humble, yes, the humble and humbling path of shamanism. We don't run around in the pagan community going, I'm all this and I'm all that. You mess with me, I'll cast on your ass. Yeah. No. People say, what is your path? A first year shaman under the GCS will say, I am a first year shaman studying under the tradition of the grove of the Celtic shaman. Now keep in mind, we only have 3 or 4 teachers that are recognized in the grove to teach the tradition. And we've had a shit potload of students come through that didn't make it. And it's not because we kicked them out. It's because they decided it wasn't for them and left. Because the first year, you're learning how to live as a shaman, how to heal from the past, move forward to the future. You're learning to understand, you're learning how to understand astral, OBE, dreamscape, dream journals, learning how to communicate with your teacher. And the biggest pet peeve of the GCS is learning that your teachers are not going to follow you around going, did you do that assignment? Don't you have an assignment due? Well, if you don't do your assignment, no. No. I'm going to give you your assignment. And if you do it or don't, that's no skin off of my ass. You have to go to your teacher for the assignment. I've had some Wiccan upper dedicates. I've had some witchcraft upper dedicates tell me my teaching style is an asshole. You're an asshole. No, I'm not. I respect my students. I respect their lives. I respect their lifestyle. Shamanism understood is living it. It's not a path, something you learn overnight. It's not something you something it's not something you learn in a book. Sabrina says, "Oh, you're just a ray of sunshine, Don." Yeah, well, I like to have fun. What can I say? But if you want to learn immediately how to cast shaman magic, if you will, go buy a book. If you want a teacher that's going to tell you that you're going to love this one. There are areas on the internet that will teach you shamanism for a nominal fee of about $100 a class. No, I ain't doing it. Cindy says you can learn in a book, but you must have the wisdom to go with the knowledge. Absolutely. And what the hell is she talking about? Education, knowledge, wisdom. Education comes from a book. Knowledge comes from life experiences. Wisdom is a combination of the two, and the learning how to combine the two to gain the wisdom to live your life as a shaman. So yes, education, knowledge equals wisdom. Now, we can argue semantics, that's fine. But that's the way we teach it in the Grove. I'm fine if you disagree. I like people that can debate with me on a philosophical standpoint and say, I disagree. But don't ever just come to me and say, you're wrong, I disagree, because that's just the way it is, and we're not going to discuss it anymore. Okay, piss off. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why. Agree to disagree. And I'm fine with that. But I want to learn. I want to learn your way. I want to learn their way. So as you can tell so far, understanding shamanism is the learning, the acceptance, the understanding of oneself, finding the balance of light, dark, understanding gray, understanding that magic is magic. There's no white magic. There's no black magic. There's no gray magic. Magic is effing magic. It's what you do with it. There's no white energy or black energy. It's what you do with that energy. So as you begin to understand the base philosophy of shamanism and what it is to embrace the chaos of the cosmos, and I will say that again, you must learn to embrace the chaos of the cosmos, because you're never going to calm the chaos. You're not going to control the world around you. You're not going to control other people. People are going to do what people do. The only thing you have true control over is your actions and reactions to other people's actions. And if you miss that, hit rewind. That's essentially the base core of understanding shamanism. And I will tell you this, and this is a giggle, but it is a fact, and it has happened. I have actually had people send me a message and go, "Can you recover for me last night's video? I missed it. I didn't get to watch it. Can you do it again?" No. Well, why not? I missed it. Because the pre-recorded version is stored on not only Facebook, but it's also stored on YouTube, and it's also stored on Stumble, and it's also stored on Pinterest. The damn archive is all over the place. Go watch the stupid video. If you didn't hear what I said, click reverse and play the damn thing again. Cover it again. Really? Yeah, anyway. So, what is my teaching strategy? First 6 months to a year, my students, it never fails. First 6 months to a year, every single solitary one of them comes back and says, "You haven't taught me anything about shamanism this year. When are we going to get into shamanism?" Really? Well, let's cover a few questions. The first thing I did before you dedicated was warned you and asked you if you had lost your effing mind about wanting to live as a shaman. You said, "Yes, I do." Okay. You read the tradition. We discussed the tradition. And you oathed to the tradition. And then 2 weeks after you oathed to the tradition, you're asking me questions that are covered in the effing tradition. Really? How many times have I said, go back and read the damn tradition? It's covered in there. Then, we're going to start a dream journal after several hours of counseling. I'm going to do readings on you. Long distance, preferred to be in person. Long distance readings are a pain in the ass, and there's too many variables for issues. Okay. Shamanism 101. Learn how to follow instructions. Shamanism 101 plus. Read the books I tell you to, because I even explain to you why I want you to read these books that have absolutely jack shit to do with shamanism. They have to do with you. So for the first year, we spend working on you. Now, here's where it gets good. I haven't taught you anything about shamanism, you say. I've taught you how to counsel by counseling you and asking you pointed, particular questions that a shaman would know to ask. Next step. The books I've asked you to read, and I've explained to you why to read them, is to help you better understand yourself and some of the different webs that you'll get tangled up in, and some of the different aspects of the human race that you will have to deal with. One of the books I have you read kind of gives you a level 1 base understanding of the astral and some of the easier ways to achieve astral. I also strongly recommend that you interact on Sunday evenings with Live with the Shaman. I also strongly recommend that you interact on Sunday mornings with Open Pagan Church, because this opens your mind to the shamanic philosophy of, okay, that's what this is all about. Honor, acceptance, the understanding of self. How did we get where we are? How did we get tangled up in the momentum of life around us that has put us where we are today? And learning that it's okay to accept you for who you are. Your anger issues, okay. Your abuse issues and the abuse that you may and most commonly have been put through, you have to deal with that. Now, so in your first year, I haven't taught you anything about shamanism except for how to counsel, how to listen, how to accept yourself, how to understand the base ideology of shamanism, how to read different books and get out of those books what pertains to you. How to heal and get past your own past. What does that teach you that has to do with shamanism? It teaches you to help others because you went through it. And I refuse to explain this to a student. Because if a student is not capable of seeing the education that's right in front of their face and learning how to combine, and I will have talked about it a million times to first years, education, knowledge, wisdom. By the end of the first year, if you've survived that long, most do not. If you're local, hopefully you've spent some time with me, learned circle protocol. The instructions are on the OpenGCS. I make sure that all of the documentation is freely available to any student or any newcomer to the OpenGCS who wishes to learn. And they will invariably ask me, where do I find the tradition? And they ask it inside the OpenGCS Facebook page. Where do I find the tradition? In the damn file section. Shamanism is not designed to be easy. When we had the circle down south, we did yearly vision quest, shamanic training. We had Sabbath circles. Many of them were called by me shamanic training. Just because I don't take you by the hand and go, okay, now we're going to fill this tiki torch and it's going to do this when I light it. I'm going to hope you got some snap to watch what the hell I'm doing and listen. Ask questions. Don, what does that tiki torch mean? I don't understand. Okay, cool. Don, walk me through the step-by-step casting of a circle because I'm missing something when you do it. Hey, that is student interacting with the teacher. Shamanism explained. Here it is. It's been since I opened the video, the broadcast. By the first part of your second year, now if you have progressed faster than others, and by the end of your first year you made priesthood, but you'll only make priesthood until you understand what the healing processes are. Sabrina made it and she didn't even know it. You have to understand the healing processes to heal who first. You have to heal your own heart before you can ever help anybody else. Yes, we still go through our trials and tribulations. We still go through hell, as it were. We still go through the teachings of the council. If you want to know what the council is, read the tradition. Sabrina made high priestess 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and she didn't even know it. Nope. Well, thereabout. But unfortunately, Sabrina cannot progress past high priestess until she and I sit down face to face and have a conversation. So, any student watching this, anyone who wishes to take me on as a long distance teacher, which drives me crazy, you will at some point have to sit down with me face to face, and I'm okay with webcam face to face on a Skype, where I can see your face, I can read your energy, your body language, and communicate the questions and answers that need to be communicated and answered, so that I can see if you can handle the dismemberment. Screech! Back up. Whoa. What the fuck? What dismemberment? What the hell are you talking about dismemberment? If you studied your shamanism and you've achieved your dismemberment or your burning in astral, which I know for a fact 3 of you have, then you don't need to ask what the dismemberment is. I will tell you this, the students that do not make it very far at all are too worried about making the priest, high priest, or mastery of shamanism. They're too worried about having control. They're too worried about, well, what do I get once I'm a priest? More responsibilities. What do I get when I'm a high priest? A bigger screwdriver. That's what you get when you're a high priest. What do I get when I'm a master? You've lost your fucking mind. That's what you get when you become a master. Yeah, I agree, Clint. We all need to sit down for a face-to-face chat. The problem is 6 to 7 hours apart makes it tough. Shamanism explained. It's a lifestyle. It is a 24/7 job. And when do I learn how to heal others? They say. You've been learning from day one. Because you're going to use the same basic energies, processes, explanation, and training that you learned while healing yourself. Working with energy, that comes with time. You've also been learning that from day one. Finding your tool, the tool that works for you. Is it a kani? Is it crystals? Is it basic stones? Is it just the simple laying on of hands? Or is it just simple spiritual counseling? Each of you have your own learning and healing and learning on that healing that we'll go through. It's my job as a teacher to help you find your tool, to help you find that works for you. I'm not going to tell you you are a holistic Christologist. I'm not going to tell you you should study Reiki. I'm not going to tell you you should go to school and become a counselor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. I'm going to help you find what works for you. This next segment is for those of you that give up. As long as you are trying, putting forth the effort, reaching out, asking for assignments, asking questions about prior assignments. And the biggest question I hate about prior assignments is, well, what does this assignment have to do with me? If you would have read the assignment when I sent it to you, in that assignment it says, what does this assignment mean to you? What do you get out of the assignment? But if you don't give up, and you don't quit, I won't give up on you. However, If you ignore me, you ignore my post, you ignore my invitations to join video broadcast, you're not very interested in learning. And if you don't think, if you give up on yourself, that I won't give up on you, you're out of your fucking mind. Because if you give up on yourself, I'm not going to fight you to save you. If you want to give up on yourself, I'm not going to let you take me down. I'll try. I'll talk. But if you're not going to listen, I'm not going to beat my head against a stone wall. And that's another thing about shamanism that you need to understand. Know when to walk away. Know when to let a student fall. They're just like kids. Kids are going to go ball ass running out across the front yard, and they're gonna fall. When they fall, you help them up, doctor their wounds. What did you learn about falling as you were running across the front yard? The answer always usually is, don't run in the front yard. No, that's not the answer. The answer is watch what you're doing. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to where your feet are going. You're going to make mistakes casting altars. You're going to make mistakes healing. You're going to make mistakes learning. You're going to make mistakes healing yourself. Holy shit. I'm almost 56 years old. I've been studying shamanism as long as I can remember. And I make mistakes all the freaking time. Council gets utter delight out of hitting me over the head with a 2x4 going, you know better than that shit. What have we learned? Shamanism, understood. Understanding shamanism. I'm almost morbidly looking forward to how many posts I will get. You didn't explain shamanism. You didn't listen to the fucking video. There is no explanation. There is no one explanation for shamanism. Shamanism is a word that describes the lifestyle, the belief system that if you know your shaman, you understand it. You don't know how you understand it. You don't know how the hell or at which point you figured it out. But you understand it because it's a part of you. The more you try to get away from it, the more you're sucked right back into it. The more you try to ignore it, the more you're slapped upside the face with it. I look forward to each and every one of you joining us on Live with the Shaman. We're not, and we don't try to be, politically correct. This is a shaman channel. We say it like it is. I speak it like I feel it. I try to be respectful of other people's feelings. We will curse on this channel. We will cover many different topics that might make you uncomfortable. Good. If we cover a topic that makes you uncomfortable, maybe you need to look at yourself and go, why does that make me uncomfortable? It's part of human, part of being human. Go look at the upcoming events and the Live with a Shaman page. Go to the Open GCS group, click to join, no expectations of you. Read, ask questions. If you don't like the answers, okay. If you get it, you get the answer, but you think something outside of that answer, post it. I get what you're talking about, but this is the way I feel about it. That will spar a good conversation. Sabrina, have a good night. And the rest of you too. Welcome to Live with the Shaman, the 2018 season. We've all got a life to live. We all got things to do. But we're here for you. Ask your questions. Post your comments. Keep them respectful. That's all we ask. Have a great year. Have a great evening. Have a great night. Thank you for watching.